Welcome back to Pokémon Blaze Black 2 Redux, this time version 1.2.1. If you don't know anything about this game, just know that Gem 5 ROM hacks are my favorite. I've played Redux before, but the reason I'm replaying this game is because I felt that the new update brought enough changes to warrant another playthrough. Hopefully what should happen is that I'm able to play through this game pretty easily while still feeling kind of new. The rules are on screen right now, but without further ado, here's Blaze Black 2 Redux 1.2.1. Of course, we have to begin the journey by selecting a starter. Last time I played, Oshawott was my starter of choice, so this time I decided to play it differently by choosing Tepig. Of course, in a game where every Pokemon gets some sort of buff, all the starters are viable. Upon making it out of the first town, we immediately encounter Jirachi, which of course we can't catch because that would be way too broken. Leading up to the first gym, the first couple of encounters we find are Starly, Sewaddle, and Tailo. Arguably a high tier set of encounters. We do come across a battle with our rival Hugh early on, but with this set of Pokemon, he didn't stand a chance. One of the changes this game provides is not only an increase to the difficulty of battles, but it also adds in more mandatory battles, and this grunt in Flockacy Ranch is one of them. He demands a double battle leading with Mienfoo and Intimidate Growlithe, which we can counter-intimidate with our own Staravia. Wing Attack deals massive damage to Mienfoo, and Staravia tanks a low sweep which lowers our speed. We finish off Mienfoo by hitting an Ember, which gets replaced by Axew. This Axew has massive damage potential, so we swap into Tailo and tank a strong Rock Tomb. Wing Attack crits the Axew as Sewaddle comes in, and also feints the other two Pokemon on the next turn. For so early on, this grunt is a huge run killer, but we're not even close to done. Cheren is the next challenge, leading the team of 6 with a Trace Porygon. I start by home clausing Sewaddle as Porygon builds up with Work Up. Swift lands dealing massive damage into Citrus range, and a Bug Bite gets the kill. Doduo sees a kill on a Sewaddle, so I swap into Staravia to Intimidate and Wing Attack twice for the knockout. Lillipup tanks a Flame Charge from Tepig, but also lands a massive Retaliate before going down on the next turn. I switch Staravia in as Aipom pulls a Water Pulse out of its sleeve. Wing Attack hits again to pick up the kill. Out comes the Munchlax. I hit a Wing Attack to check my damage, but realize that I don't do enough damage here. I sack my Tailo to bring out Sewaddle, then seal its berry with Bug Bite. From here, I can bring Staravia back out to knock out the Munchlax and Deerling to give us the victory. Considering that the fight was 4v6, 2 deaths was a small price to pay. After the first gym, Cheren gives us the fishing rod, and I immediately go to the river to fish up a great encounter. Show me Dratini. It is 40% though, so it's not that rare at all. After a couple more Pokemon, including a gift Charmander in Verbank City, we can face the second gym leader. Roxy is also incredibly difficult considering how early on in the game she is. But I do believe that with our team of 6, it shouldn't be as hard. Her first Pokemon was Trubbish, that has both Focus Sash and Explosion and loves to set up Toxic Spikes. It's nearly guaranteed to live a hit, but I have a plan. We just want to take it out on the first turn so that we don't have to deal with Toxic Spikes. It's only 70% chance to hit 3 times. Okay, but this kills. Perfect. Aftermath, there's not really much we can do about that. This brings out her Quillfish, which lands an Intimidate. Magnemite tanks a couple Aqua Jets, and Charge Beam crits a Quillfish. Koffing gets Dragon Tail by Dratini, and Charmeleon Firefang burns the Whirlipede as it spams Steamroller. Eventually, Whirlipede is chipped away for Ivysaur to come in. I swap in Staravia to Wing Attack, but Venoshock crits us to knock us out. At least now Pignite can Revenge Kill upon the switch in. I know that Ghastly is holding Life Orb, so it lands a massive Hex into Citrus range, but the recoil it receives from Life Orb doubles my insurance damage, assuring us the kill. Finally, Koffing comes back out. It can only Venoshock, so a couple Flame Charges picks up the kill along with our second badge. With our new badge in possession, we officially enter the mid-game, where the game really opens up. Storyline: Pokestar Studios, except instead of doing all the dialogue, you can just fight Bryson instead, which is a refreshing change. From there, we can sail to Castelia to open up our options. In the surrounding areas, we do a bunch of exploring and get a couple more encounters, but without too much delay, I enter the gym fight. Berg leads double bug types in Yanmega and Masquerain. At first, the plan goes correctly. I detect him on top and Shockwave Masquerain, but then the plan goes to crit. Man, and it's still, yeah, okay, it went for the speed control. That's okay. Into Jolteon, crap. Live? Jesus Christ. I think it's double swap? Wait, oh, wrong side. I fucked up. Charmeleon goes on the left side. Okay. Or, you know what, I don't know. Signal Beam is fine. Bug Buzz is Jesus Christ. Okay, low sweep is fine. Oh my god! Oh, we're speed tied. Great. Goodbye Akaberry. Protected. Air Slash Iron Head. I think we swapped a Crobat, and I'll kill the Durant. Bro, what? Are you... What is this luck? And you flinched. No! Yeah, that's what I thought. Rock Slide. And then you better f***ing Power Gem. Bro, what's with this flinch? Holy shit, man. Okay, Sheer Force doing big damage here. Bro, what am I supposed to do here? Unless I want to, like, predict that they both attack my Hitmontop, right? Fuck it. If Pignite dies, Pignite dies. Hey, look at that! Nice. Nice, nice, nice. That's a little loud. Sorry, guys. The safest option is Magnemite here. Quick attack. Not. Oh! What? And Leaf Blade. Oh, okay. Magnemite's down. I don't even know how that quick attack did so much damage. I just don't understand. Nothing we can really do about Magnemite, but if I knew Charmeleon was just gonna be a sack there, probably should have sent in Quilava instead. Death to Charmeleon, which eventually becomes a Fire Dragon Charizard with Levitate, and the well-rounded Magnezone. Yikes. We power through though. In the next route, Colress shows us his tech, then challenges us to a battle, but with our new level cap, our Pokemon easily outclass his and gives us the win. Before moving on to Elisa, I backtrack to get an encounter we missed, then head up to Mombasa to catch some more Pokemon. Wait. Me. Man, okay, I was not ready for this. Thankfully, my expert Nuzlocke skills navigated me through the fight. I swap Lavani immediately into Hitmontop and tank a Playrough as Dig brings Gigalith to the red. I yawn the Stoutland, then swap into Emboar as Crunch knocks out Gigalith. I send in Crobat to wing attack Machamp as Hammer Arm takes out Stoutland, and finally Unfezant goes down to a combination of poison and chip damage. With Lenore defeated, we can now actually get our encounters. We catch Gothita to the west, Solosis to the east, and Execute in the forest to the north. We barge through the amusement park, defeating trainer after trainer until we finally reach the runway to face Elisa. None of the trainers could get past Hippowdon, so I'm hoping the Hippo can crush Elisa as well. Elisa battles in triple the style, showing off Electivire, Lantern, and Emolga. I first swap Crobat for Emolga to bait discharges, and since Typhlosion is fastest, it digs down to avoid water moves. Finally, I Psyshock the fighting type Electivire to bring it into the red. Because my Emolga absorbed 3 discharges, it's now the fastest on the field and covets Electivire for the kill. Lantern's guaranteed to live a dig, so I focus a Psyshock into it as well, at least bringing it down to low health. With Zebstrika in on the left, I swap in a Bronzong to tank any fire moves and covet Lantern for the kill. Typhlosion uses his turn to set up a dig on whatever comes out in the middle. On the next turn, Stunfisk comes in, so it gets hit by the dig, and Hippowdon retaliates with EQ to pick up the kill on Stunfisk. The Raichu that comes in is holding an air balloon, so I air cutter with Emolga to kill Zebstrika and pop the balloon in order for EQ to land on Raichu. This just leaves the Emolga all alone for us to chip at and pick up the victory. Before heading on to the next city, I backtrack a bit to pick up some hidden items to better prepare myself for the next fights to come. I even take the train to Anvil Town, where they have another selection of starters for us to choose from, of which I take the Trico. There is the mandatory triple battle in front of Driftveil Drawbridge that's supposed to teach you about triple battles, but if you can make it past Elisa, then this one should obviously be Lemon Squeezy. The bridge itself teases us with a Shaman, but it gives us a Swablu as an encounter. We get again another starter selection, this time from Sinnoh, and we pick up Chimchar. From the routes surrounding Driftveil City, we get Shroomish from the Ghetto and Shiny Corsola from the laboratory. You'll need to fight Root to progress through the story. His team also consists of some pretty strong individual Pokemon, but as long as you plan and keep rotating in effective Pokemon, this battle should pass like a kidney stone. The Driftveil gym can be navigated with minimal battles, so if you have trouble navigating through the gym trying to avoid trainers, then I suggest you Google the gym to visualize the full layout. I found Clay's Sand team to be really tough despite only being a single battle. Basically, my plan is to just brute force through his Pokemon. The problem that I have is that my bulky Pokemon were too slow, and that my fast Pokemon were too frail. Maractus starts us off by Giga Draining for an easy kill. I swap in Bronzong for immunity against Nidoking's ground and poison moves, then retaliate with extra sensories. He then sends out Mamoswine, which gets countered by my Wall Rain. I then sack my Emolga for a Tailwind, and you'll see why. But for now, my Breloom with Extra Belt can revenge kill with Sky Uppercut. I put the incoming Garchomp to sleep, then Icicle Spear with Wall Rain to take it out. His Torterra can set up Shell Smashes, which is why I prepared the Tailwind, so I Spore it to sleep, then Icicle Spear for the kill. Finally, the Excadrill. Here I can sack Maractus for the free switch into Breloom, which gives us the Sky Uppercut revenge kill to win the 5th gym badge. Clay takes us to the PWT, where I can spend some time modifying my movesets from the Move Relearner. After accidentally wandering onto Team Plasma's Frigate, I head into Relic Passage where I've been saving my encounter for the static Volcarona. The Strelton Cave just ahead usually has some cracked encounters, but Guidance Chamber got removed, which means that I can only get one encounter. To increase the chances of a good one, I first head to Clay Tunnel where some of the encounters overlap. This means that catching the Lairon here increases the chances of a good Pokemon over in Miss Strelton Cave. And because of my good planning, the encounter I get is an eventual Salamence. I roam around the two areas for a bit, gathering items here and there, but soon enough I find myself in Chargestone Cave. Our rival was set on battling us in a single battle, but with the addition of my new Pokemon, his team still stood no chance. Chargestone Cave is another chance for a good encounter. I end up getting Ferroseed here, which honestly isn't bad, but definitely not useful for the near future. The Grotto on Route 7 gives us a female Snorunt, which is nice, and I decide to completely forget about Celestial Tower. Before Skyla, there is a mini-boss battle against Colress right outside the steps of Twist Mountain, and here he uses some next level type Pokemon. Alright buddy, what have you got? What have you got? Alright, this is Pure Steel. We are slower, so we will be taking a hit, but Spore. That's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought, because it's trying to Stealth Rock's Whirlwind. So we're gonna put you to sleep. This is guaranteed to sleep for one turn, so we'll Drain Punch. Beautiful. 100% Aeroblast here. So here's the thing, we are slower. It'll probably Volt Switch here. I guess I was wrong. I really thought I was gonna Volt Switch to MT2 for the Earthquake, but I guess not. Okay, well at least that boosts our attack. Boosts our speed. We should be faster than whatever else is on his team now. Ooh, that brings up a question. I don't think I can kill the MT2 now. Crap. Yeah, I don't think I can kill this. Earthquake. Just, oh, Shift Gear, that's good. I was gonna say if it crit the Meteor Mash, that would have been bad. Okay, speed rose by 2, attack rose by 1. Here's that Drain Punch. Oh, yes. Equipping Life Orb was a great decision. Oh, one shot, okay. Good stuff. Skyla is another triple battle. Her flying Pokemon are incredibly fast with a ton of utility, so again, I have to just brute force through them. Pidgeot has no guard, which only helps my Jolteon land Thunder. Frost Breath can pick up on Gliscor, and Emboar has to tank a Hurricane before it can retaliate with a Heat Crash. Due to the order of how our Pokemon are sent out, I need to proceed with caution. I double swap the middle and right for Omastar and Pharaoh, then nuzzle the Aerodactyl to cripple its speed while breaking its sash. Omastar protects as Jolteon Volt Switches Aerodactyl, nearly killing it. Bronzong swaps in, and Pharaoh can Heavy Slam Arrow to confirm the kill. I swap the right side for Jolteon while double protecting Omastar, so that Bronzong can chip at the Togekiss. Volt Switch into Swanna kills, which leaves just a Togekiss by itself, and after some slow chip damage, Togekiss faints and we get the victory. There's a whole lot of story between Skyla and the next relevant part of the game. First, Bianca wants to test us before joining us in Reversal Mountain. Will-O-Wisp burns Mian Xiao, crippling its attack, and Heavy Slam from Aggron kills a Musharna, preventing screen setup. Crobat swaps in for Aggron, and Frost Breath KOs the Haxorus. Aggron re-enters on the right side as Crobat Acros Emboar, and a second Acro chip can take out the Emboar. Finally, Salamence can enter and finish off the rest of her team. Once we exit from the mountain, Cynthia and Caitlyn greet us by giving us a dive TM. There is another Hugh rival battle here too, but again, his team still hasn't changed, so the battle was no different. After making our way up to Lacunosa Town, catching encounters along the way, we meet up with Hugh to team up against Zinzalin and his grunt. Now I doubt anyone else will find this fight too difficult, but I always found our rival to be completely useless. Both Samurott and Infernape double up attacks into Cryo to bypass the Sash, then Samurott superpowers the incoming Weavile to pick up another kill. T-Tar rock slides the wall rain since it has no water moves, as Samurott gets poisoned by the Swalot. Rock Slide picks up the kill as Lumberry cures my poison, and with Samurott at -2 attack and defense, I EQ to take out the opposing Swalot and the Samurott to bring in a fresh Pokemon. Rock Slide can then knock out the Delibird to finish off the battle. But that's not all the battles though, because immediately on the next route, we run into Banga for a surprise battle. I let out with Infernape to power up punch the Metagross to give me enough offensive power to Blaze Kick and kill. EQ from Garchomp is incoming, so I swap into Flygon, which can outspeed and retaliate. His Gyarados comes in, which is Moxie since no Intimidate, so I decide to stall it out with Ferrothorn passive chip using Iron Barbs and Leech Seed. With the Emboar now baited out, I straight swap into Dragonite to hit a Waterfall, where Extreme Speed can pick up the kill on the next turn. Gardevoir in the back can 1v1 the Conkeldurr, but I misplan for the Volcarona. With Gardevoir currently out, I have to chip the Volcarona with Aggron, then sack it to bring out Infernape. This is even with Filter. Yeah. Oh shit, of course. Of course. Unless this is a throw and it doesn't kill. We for sure die next turn, but maybe it okay. We have to Mach Punch here. We simply have to Mach Punch here. There's no other option. Die? Okay. One death isn't bad on Banga. To replace the lost Aggron, Village Bridge gives us another static encounter in Lapras, which is arguably just as good. Grimsley is on the next route and provides us with a Waterfall TM, which allows me to backtrack a bit before the 7th gym. Before proceeding on to Drayden, I actually want to fight Winona first, because this allows me to get a Rotom encounter. I start the battle by Volt Switching Dragonite to break its multiscale, going into Hitmontop to bait flying moves. Hitmontop detects and Omastar can set up a Shell Smash. By swapping in Jolteon to take the Hurricanes, Power Gem from Omastar can kill the Dragonite. Rotom Fan sees a discharge kill on Omastar, so I protect it while swapping in Whimsicott. From here, I can jump back and forth between who I Sleep Powder and who dies to Power Gem to pick up the victory and earning us the Rotom encounter. With Winona done, Drayden is next on the chopping block. The battle begins with Latias and Charizard, two dangerous Dragon Mons. Altaria Dragon Dances and Flygon swaps out to bait Dragon moves into Ferrothorn. Currently, Charizard can kill Ferrothorn, but Altaria can outspeed and kill Charizard first with a Dragon Rush, allowing Ferro to set up Stealth Rocks. However, since Latias was kept alive, it set up a Tailwind, so Altaria sets up Tailwind of our own on the next turn. I swap in Flygon on the right and U-turn out to Ferro, expecting a dual Wing Beat. At least get some chip on it. Yeah, Latias is gonna Dragon Pulse for sure. Just don't crit. Okay, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. Because Volcarona is normally faster than Salamence and we both have our Tailwind up. So now we just have to switch in something that can take dual Wing Beat. Instead, I get outplayed by his D-Dance, so I double swap into Whimsicott and Frostlass to Frostbite the Salamence. Ooh, that's not great. Dragon Claw or Sphere. Perfect, perfect. Okay, and their Tailwind's gone. Perfect, didn't miss. Well, me. I did not, I forgot about the thing. Okay. Sleep Powder comas a Haxorus and Frost Breath confirms a kill. I sleep the Flygon and send in my own, then on the next turn, sleep the Latias and Dragon Pulse the Flygon. With the final Sceptile in, I sleep the Sceptile and Dragon Pulse it for the kill, then chip the Latias with Moonblast to earn our 7th gym victory. As soon as we step out the doors to the gym, Team Plasma cryoblasts my ass with an icicle and forces me to battle them. None of their Pokemon are any good though, and they only challenge you in single battles, so moving past them was quite easy. Zinzalin 2 was also easy since he only fights you in a single battle. In order to move through the game, we have to progress through the story, so that brings us to Humalao City. The surrounding areas gives us some pretty lackluster water encounters, so after pushing through the gym trainers, we be up against Marlin. Marlin obviously operates a rain team. I lead off with Whimsicott to sleep the Ludi, then kill the Poly with Moonblast. Gardevoir is going to trace the Swift Swim and outspeed both of them, which is really, really nice. Which means we can Sleep Powder Ludicolo and Moonblast Poly for free. Okay, Okay. Permanent Rain means that the Swift Swim mons have double their speed, but our Prankster is even faster. Plus, my Gardevoir traced Swift Swim at the start, so we're not even worried about being slower. Sleep on the Kingdra allows Gardevoir to build up with Calm Minds, but Ludi manages to wake up and Ice Beam Whimsicott for the freeze. Kingdra's asleep. So Kingdra's slower. Oh, yeah, there it is. There, it woke up. Live. Oh my god. I switch Intenta to tank some hits, and Moonblast Kingdra for a kill. Okay, that's fine. That's good. Okay, but that's... Whimsicott being put to sleep is really bad. Okay, we just avoided a Hydro Pump from the Ludi. I double target starting with Moonblast and Knockoff, but not before Psychic lands on my Tenta. That's not great. Pelipper comes in. I Moonblast Ludi for damage and sack Tenta, but Pelipper hits a Hurricane and gets a Confusion on Gardevoir. I send in my Ludi and Fake Out flinches Pelipper. I send in Starmie to tank the Hydro Pumps, and Ludi takes itself out with Life Orb Chip. Why is that so much damage? Starmie's basically useless now with the Kabutops in, so I swap for Jolteon and Giga Drain Kabutops to break Sash. Okay, so we do outspeed, but this won't kill though. Yeah. I can then pick up the double kill by draining Kabutops and Thundering Pelipper for the win. There, nice. Yeah, it kills even through the Walk-in Berry. Nice. Now that we have all 8 gym badges, all that's left is for us to finish the story component. That was kind of a rough fight. I navigate through Seaward Cave to reach Team Plasma Frigate, and once we're on, I navigate through the panels and fight through all the trainers to reach Zinzlin once again past the electric gates. If I'm being honest, with all the story stuff, the only relevant parts of the game is just a bunch of boss battles, so let's do this. Zinzlin fights us in a double battle, and they've got some scary Pokemon, but since we just got our gym badge, we're on to the next level cap, which means that we have a bunch of levels over their Pokemon. Just be sure to watch out for the back half of their teams because the Drifblim and Carnivine like to throw out sleeping moves. I also managed to lose Levani in the fight due to an unsuspected Rock Gem boosted Excel Rock. Excel Rock? Okay. Once that fight is over, the Frigate flies away again, so we have to relocate it, navigate another puzzle, obtain another password just to face Zinzlin again. This time the double battle is all Zinzlin, so if you plan adequately enough for a bunch of tanky ice Pokemon and take Hail into consideration, then you should be pretty okay to move forward. I solved the Hail by just setting up Sandstorm and blasting through his team with some fire and fight moves. The next battle to fight is Colress, who I honestly overestimate sometimes. You have time to switch around your Pokemon and plan for his team. He mainly uses Steel and Electric Pokemon, and he doesn't really pack much coverage, so it's a pretty simple battle to navigate through. Especially since it's changed to a single battle, so you can just send out Pokemon to 1v1 each of his team members. The Shadow Triad in the next room are a cakewalk because they all use the same weak Pokemon, and with all the lower rank members defeated, we can finally move on to face the top dog of the Team Plasma. Ghetsis fights you first with a Cure Infusion, then with his full team, and you have no time in between to change up your team, so you have to plan for both fights accordingly. The problem I had with Ghetsis is that his team is too diverse, which means that I have to use all my Pokemon slots to counter him, but this leaves me with no other options to face a Kyurem. The only plan I could come up with that could sufficiently face off against both teams is just to blast through with raw power, and here's how it goes. Against the Kyurem, I lead with Beheeyem, but immediately bring out Infernape so that Expert Bell Close Combat can just barely bust through. As for Ghetsis' actual team, okay, so the reason we started with Beheeyem is because his lead Pokemon, Cofagrigus, we need to just eliminate it immediately. We need to get past its Will-O-Wisp, Protect, Trick Room, Hex set. And the only solution I found was Psycho Boost, Life Orb, Beheeyem. This is the only solution I found. Not everything else was just shy of killing it. This is the only way I can kill this reliably. Perfect. For the rest of his team, Genesect can be countered by Volcarona with his fire moves. Machamp wants a Dynamic Punch, but I realistically have no counter for the confusion, so I sack Beheeyem to bring out Rotom to Will-O-Wisp. With Burn reducing its offensive power, I go to Ferrothorn to passively chip some health, then into Infernape where it's safe to pick up the kill, boosting our attacks simultaneously. This allows us to pick up the 1v1 KO on Electros with close combat, and U-turn out of Gyarados to Rotom, which can reliably 1v1. His Hydreigon nasty plots to raise its stats, so Rotom Volt switches out to Infernape and picks up the kill with close combat again to win against Ghetsis. With badges in hand and story completed, we head to our final locations to pick up the last of our encounters. Vullaby on Route 23 gives us a good defensive dark option, and Zweilous in Victory Road gives us an offensive dark option. Now, right before we can actually move on to the Elite Four, this game throws one last gauntlet at you, which is probably the hardest set of battles in the entire game, aside from the Elite Four. Lance and his team of ace trainers fights you in 2 sets of back-to-back battles using all 4 weather teams. The first trainer is a Hail team. I won by leading with Ferrothorn against Abomasnow to set up Stealth Rocks off the rip. Then I pivot through Frostlass to bait Woodhammers so that Volcarona can get in safely. Volcarona can now set up a Quiver Dance, allowing us to sweep the rest of the team. The next battle is a Sun team. I used a similar strategy, except this time it's Salaman's Moxie sweeping, but it came at the cost of sacrificing Nidoqueen to set up a layer of spikes. The third battle happens in the rain. Normally rain is the hardest to plan around, but it really just made Thunder sweeping with Jolteon all the more simple. I led with Gorbis to set up a Shell Smash to boost our offense, then Baton Pass to boost into Jolteon who can sweep with Thunders. This means that the last fight has to be in the sand. Hippowdon on their side set up the Sandstorm, but I used Gorbis to Shell Smash again, then Baton Pass into Cloyster so that Skill Link Icicle Spear sweeps their team. With all 4 ace trainers out, this leaves us with just Lance, the big boss for us to fight against. His team of Draconic Pokemon has a ton of coverage, but I do manage to find a countering team with some orthodox Pokemon. Starting with Aerodactyl, Pharaoh can passively chip with Iron Barb's damage, and Gyro Ball can confirm the kill. Salamence especially has both fire and water coverage, so I pivot through Emboar into Sceptile, who can outspeed and kill with a Dragon Fang boosted Dragon Claw. Gyarados on his speed can be outsped with Zebstrika and taken out with a Wild Charge, and then I sack Zebstrika to the Haxorus so that Escavalier can revenge kill with X-Scissor. I pivot into Emboar to take Charizard's Flame Lash, but the defense was just too much to handle, so I have to make an unnecessary sack here for Sceptile to revenge kill with a boosted Dragon Claw. Finally his Dragonite is out, but it also gets outsped and dies. There is one final rival battle here with Hugh, and seeing as how I've only said that his team was easy without showing any battles, I guess I'll put the money where my mouth is. Keep in mind that this is the best that his team will ever be. His leading Pokemon is Swellow, which immediately dies to a Thunderbolt. I swap out into Rotom to levitate the Earth Power, and I can hit back with a quad-effective Hydro Pump for the feint. Lilligant definitely wants a Petal Dance, so I send in Salamence who can dual Wing Beat to hit it twice and pass the Focus Sash. The Moxie boost is nice, but not enough to stay into the Flygon. Clefable can tank the Dragon moves, and Double Moonblast can finish it off. Out next comes the Samurott. I make the swap into Dragonite as it sets up a Shell Smash, but since I still have Multiscale up, I have no need to fear it. Fly goes up and takes it out in one hit. Finally is his Electros. I have no great counter, but Flygon resists all of its moves, and I can 1v1 it for the win. This means that we're now at the Elite Four, 5 more battles before we can call ourselves the victor of this game. Starting with Grimsley, his fight is the easiest by far, no question. Alright, Grimsley is gonna be the easiest to defeat. His entire team is sweepable with Bug Buzz on Flygon with 2 Quiver Dances. That's the entire premise of his team, so that's exactly what we're gonna do. That's once, that's 2, and this should be enough. That's 1. Perfect, that's 2. That's 3. That's 4. I'm pretty sure Drapion also dies. No, that's the Zoroark. Yeah. That's 5. Perfect. This is Focus Sash, but it can't really do anything to us. Nice. Alright. That's 1 Elite Four down. Arguably the easiest. And the rest are going to be so much harder. Next, we actually move on to Marshall. This fight was also decently easy to plan because Starmie can outspeed all of his Pokemon, and Salamence can kill all of his Pokemon. This way, I can coordinate both of their attacks so that Starmie kills whoever Salamence cannot outspeed, and Salamence can kill whoever Starmie can't one-shot. This gives us another sweep victory. Caitlyn I had to work much harder for. I immediately double up on the Musharna because it's way too bulky and does way too much damage. Then I T-Bolt Slowbro activating its eject button. Another T-Bolt chips at Xatu for damage, and on the next turn, I can kill the Xatu as Salamence flies up to avoid the Ice Punch. She sends her Slowbro back in, which immediately dies to a T-Bolt, and Fly lands into the Gallade for the double kill. When Caitlyn sends out Metagross and Darmanitan, I double swap for Reuniclus and T-Tar, so that T-Tar can protect while chipping the Metagross for damage. I then swap T-Tar for Flygon to tank Grass Knots, picking up the kill on Metagross in the meantime. This leaves a Darmanitan alone, which we can chip down with Shadow Balls and eventually pick up the kill. A much harder but well-earned battle. Chantal though is by far the hardest of the four. Her leading trio of ghosts are Miss Magius, Gengar, and Sableye. Now you might have wondered why I even brought Reuniclus on instead of another more conventional good Pokemon, and it was for Magic Coat to reflect the Sableye from using any status moves. Sableye tricks his Lagging Tail into Starmie, and Starmie Psychics to remove the Gengar. I'd protect T-Tar from Will-O-Wisp and Dazzling Gleam, as Shadow Ball does half to Miss Magius. Starmie can also Scald the Golurk for analytic boosted damage on the next turn. T-Tar can crunch the Golurk, picking up the kill as Starmie tanks a Shadow Claw, and Miss Magius goes down to a Shadow Ball. Starmie also scalds Sableye, getting a burn as well. Chandelure in the left and Jellicent in the middle marks the last of her Pokemon. I'm a little lost in terms of game plan, so I triple protect to scout the next turn, revealing Energy Ball and Scald and Shadow Ball into Starmie. I swap in Salamence and Crunch knocks out the Jellicent, but Reuniclus unfortunately has to go down to Heat Wave. I protect T-Tar, damaging Chandelure with a Dragon Pulse as Salamence takes out the Sableye. This means that we can Dragon Pulse one last time into Chandelure to win the battle against Chantal. With the 4 Elite Four members down, I have one battle left against the champion. Superior with Yachi Berry, with Contrary, Draco, and Leaf Storm. First is Superior, which simply dies to Crobat's Brave Bird. Empoleon wants the Ice Beam, so I U-turn into Starmie as Empoleon raises its speed with Agility. This perfectly sets up Starmie to hit with an Analytic Life Orb boosted Thunderbolt to retaliate and kill in one shot. Alright, let's T-Bolt. Okay, I'll take a missed Hydro Pump. Beautiful. I pivot through Crobat, U-turning to break the Focus Sash on Alakazam, then switch back into Crobat to tank an Aurasphere, where a second U-turn can give us a cheesy kill. U-turn breaks the Sash. It's gonna want to Psyshock us, so we can go into... Okay, good. That breaks Sash. Yeah, perfect. Aurasphere or Energy Ball back into us. We're gonna go back into Crobat. U-turn, so that we can get a Pokemon that can set up on them. I send out Starmie, which they counter with Togekiss. Togekiss, yeah, as expected. I don't know if this kills. At least half, maybe? Thank you. Okay. T-Wave can perfectly setting up the Analytic boost, except for the fact that Moonblast lowers our special attack, and we get fully paralyzed. Ice Beam. Moonblast. I was gonna say don't lower, but it did. Yeah, perfect. I sack Starmie for Crobat to Revenge Kill with Cross Poison, which brings out their Latios onto the field. Yeah. Okay, Latios. Here I sack again to send in Flygon for free, who can also get the Revenge Kill with Expert Boosted Dragon Pulse. I think we can kill this. We're 80. Level 80 Expert Belt. Yeah. Nice. Nice. I break Dragonite's Multiscale by Dragon Pulsing, but it sets up a Dragon Dance and kills Flygon on the next turn. D-Dance. Okay. Okay. I send in my Tyranitar, and I know that Dragonite's faster, so we gotta tank a hit first before landing the finishing blow. Stone Edge. If we missed there, we would have lost, for sure. What a run. I just love the nostalgia of Nuzlocking my favorite generation. Enough of this game has changed to keep me challenged, but it's still got the same charm as I played it the first time. Honestly, if there was another Gen 5 ROM hack, I'd Nuzlocke that game immediately. But I know that can get stale for you viewers, so let me know what I should Nuzlocke in the future. I've got Rising Ruby on my eye next, but until then, subscribe and watch out.